In this revelation, I was taken into a cosmic view of a certain heavenly world. From that high vantage, I saw the master of that heavenly world ruling over some people on earth, keeping them as slaves. He had appointed one of his own, human being, as the slave master. This slave master is his steward, the enforcer of rules over the human slaves. I witnessed the scene as the slave master, shrewd and effective in discharging his duties, made a proposal to his master to expand the slave business by bringing in more people under the master's dominion. The idea pleased the master, who then gave his steward the go-ahead. But when the slave master descended to earth, he began to enslave the people to himself instead of his master. He was clearly an expert in controlling and manipulating people, and it showed. Soon, he had 4,000 human slaves for every 10 to 400 slaves that his master had. He became a more glorified figure on earth, letting his master's influence over the human slave wane, while his soared, outshining his master on earth. To ensure that his vast system of slavery would appear civilized and go unnoticed, he established institutions, banking, schooling, healthcare, religion, and social systems, even NGOs. All of it was designed to keep the masses bound. While I observed from my cosmic vantage point, all large buildings existed within the same camp, controlled by one man, the slave master himself. Within his camp, I could see school children in their greenish-looking uniforms, lined up and groomed in the camp. Now on the earth, I found myself walking in a procession among a group of people belonging to what is known as the Celestial Church of Christ. We were lined up and told to walk in like angels, even though we were humans. We were instructed to act the part, maintaining a poise of reverence by clasping our palms together as we walked. So we did. But I intentionally slowed my pace. I refused to walk fast enough to rise in rank from a position on the queue. Those behind me began to complain about how slow I was going, and I told them they were free to overtake me. I didn't explain why, but I had no desire to rise in that system. Quietly, I began to plot my escape from this evil camp in which everything was unfolding. At the back of the main building was a dark, murky pool with crocodiles inside. One man stood near it, desiring to hack the crocodiles to death. But I could hear his thoughts and quickly responded telepathically. If you dare such a thing, it would result in greater human casualties. These ancient crocodiles had been at peace in their own world here, I reminded him. The man understood my warning and changed his course of thought, letting the ancient crocodiles be on their own. Then the slave master appeared, putting on a show, as many politicians do when they pretend to care for the poor. He acted like he had come to spend time with the common people, smiling. But I was seeing clearly through his disguise. I could read his heart. Deep down, he was a coward. And I wondered how someone so afraid is able to hold a world under such a powerful spell. But he never worked alone. He has surrounded himself with a few men and women whose presence kept him going. He sat fearfully around the same place I sat, on a plank of wood laid across the murky water where the ancient crocodiles reside. A short while later, I left the scene with my cousin, West, who walked into the premises to see me. But I soon returned briefly to retrieve my phone, my handset, and then we left the camp entirely, free, fulfilled. What are the implications of Revelation 2? In the sky above earth is a powerful sinister principality, a ruler of another cosmic world who views humanity as property. He governs not by love, but by domination and ownership, seeking to expand his influence over the earth. He totally believes it's his right and duty to rule over humankind as the Lord and God of earth. The Slavemaster is his rogue spiritual agent. He is demonic human descendant who walks the earth as a human, but whose loyalty is to himself alone. Together, their unloyal affairs produced a lineage of prominent and independent human rulers, kings of antiquity, who demanded worship, loyalty, and obedience from humans whom they enslaved and subdued. They acted as gods or Elohim, using the demonic mirrors of Mammon, wealth, Belial, lawlessness, Jezebel, bestiality or confused sexuality, and the Antichrist, hating the original human seed to enslave true souls. Civilizing the original human seed became the invisible chains of their enslavement. Modernization of the slavery system became long-standing institutions on earth, each accepted as part of modern life, but all secretly serving a traitor's purpose. Banking systems, death traps, economic bondage, money that rules rather than serves, blood money rituals such as wars of the rulers and proxy wars of their cosmic people. Health systems. Medical industry act as death contractor, withholding and sabotaging true healing from the people to protect a profit-making business model where recurring disease instigators are treated as prescription medicines. Religious systems, offering the people many controlled forms of godliness to usurp true spirituality, undermine the sovereignty of each soul, so it cannot grow beyond the limitations set by the ego of the gods or lord of the religions. Social systems, programming behavior through media, mass re-education or misinformation, and law to make sure no one has a mind of their own or that people do their will. Schooling systems, catching children young and making them trust in the slavery system early enough, making calls to liberation and true freedom feel ever so strange to them. NGO system, false humanitarianism masking deeper agendas of control, violence, broad-day robbery, and colonization. True slavery in our time comes in contracts, subscriptions, scholarship, fellowships, free GMO seedling gifts, medical intervention programs, advertisements, storytelling documentaries, sponsored online and street revolutions, ideology-controlled news broadcasts, pseudo-spiritualities, career path, award, celebrity endorsements, and routines. The Slavemaster ensures people love their chains. The Celestial Church represents not one denomination, but religious systems that appear divine but are deeply compromised. People are told to have a form of righteousness, act sweet and submissive, while another takes their joy away. A performative spirituality. A dreamer walks slowly on purpose, because true success and progress cannot be made in a false system. From the world's civil service to political and religious hierarchies, all worldly accolades are in vain. All of these systems try to enforce obedience without alignment with truth, submission without discernment, and ceremony over covenants. The Murky pool is the underworld where ancient cosmic forces and spirits dwell in their own space, unconcerned with the affairs of humans. But men and women have been moved by greed to seek friendship, power alliances, or favors from these ancient forces, leading to an unleashing of wild disasters that humans suffer. Sometimes, reckless humans wish to show superiority by trying to wage war where none is necessary. But overzealous battles are not yours, and violence without instruction brings casualties. Some things are better discerned and left for divine timing to judge. The Slavemaster is a master of deceits. He wields PR stunts like a weapon. Many politicians, tech giants, religious celebrities and others have learned to exploit the people while posing as friends of the poor, doing charities on cameras to chase clout and get funding for their selfish aims. These globally famous idiots have no real presence to themselves, because true presence comes from being spiritually grounded in oneness with the source. They cover this up through the illusions of their institutionalized power structures. But to see them for what they truly are is to be immune to their charms and wits. The name West indicates a direction where the sun sets on the wicked, showing that the world, like the dreamer, is heading towards the final judgment that is better described as the Great Reset. It is not enough to escape the system. The handset is a metaphor for your soul. It must function as your spiritual prophetic tool, voice, or divine assignment. The dreamer sees, blows the whistle, and liberates those who may find the courage to do the same. You also must value spiritual liberation above all forms of promotions and relevance. This is the opening of the Shepherd Way, a journey of exposure and wisdom. Many are out there posing as workers and ministers of our prime Heavenly Father, but they are knowingly or unknowingly aligned with the fallen world order. This revelation is a direct expose of the counterfeit systems that hold humanity bound. And your role is that of a watcher who becomes a whistleblower to liberate light camps that are under deception. Not to criticize, point accusing fingers, or play blame games, not to engage in fruitless prayer sessions, but to decode strongholds and pulling people out through truth, awareness, and spiritual precision.